All right, welcome to the channel for the first time viewers. Welcome back to my existing subscribers. Today I'm going to be upgrading my setup. I'm going to be going from a 8K 1.4 or DisplayPort 1.4 splitter. So hopefully y'all can see that. I'm going from this here to a 16K DisplayPort 2.1 splitter. So because I have the dual PC setup behind me here, it's just one of those things where I can have, because most monitors, the higher end ones, I've noticed only have the one DisplayPort cable. And since I got this new 4K monitor, it's still the same thing. Same way I've been playing, same way I've been setting things up. Because I got, right now, I have a 9800 XD on this side, 9950 XD on this one. So instead of having a million cables or running HDMI to one, I use these splitters. So real quick, Silkland reached out to me and wanted to know if I wanted to try out one of their new cables. So it's not, I mean, you can say it's a sponsored video, but I wouldn't say it's a sponsored video. I did get the cable for free though. It's about 20 bucks on Amazon, and it sent me down a rabbit hole. So let's go ahead and we'll get this thing open. And the rabbit hole it sent me down was, what kind of cables do I have, right? So the last time I bought DisplayPort cables were these old ones back here, and got them in 2012. So these are the OG DisplayPort. Let's see if I can get this to focus. DisplayPort 1.0, and or not 1.0, 1.2. So I think the max bit rate on these, or the max transfer rate, is 21 gigabits per second. Been fine for the longest time. And so these are the new 80 gigabit per second cables. Now, when they reached out to me, one thing that had piqued my interest is that I've been having issues with my new 4K monitor. So for those of you that have been following, I haven't reviewed it yet, but for like 3 months now, I've been using, really since September, so we were talking about almost 4 months, I've been using the Asus PG32 UCDP, which is that 240 hertz 4K and 480 hertz 1080p monitor. It's a fantastic monitor, but I have had several issues with it. And realistically, the reason I'm doing this is to kind of educate y'all on things that I learned when I was looking into how much a cable actually matters in your setup, right? So the issues I was having were things like DSC not working correctly because I didn't have a cable that was really up to speed with that. Now, personally, when I'm gaming, I don't really see that big of a difference. However, when I'm doing regular work on this monitor, there was like a halo effect on all the text, and that seems to have been gone now. So that was like the biggest thing that I had noticed. So big deal there. So I really like that. Again, that haloing effect is gone because it was annoying, especially if it's a black background. It kind of looks like you have rainbow text because all the fringes were messed up. So this is capable of doing 4K 240 hertz uncompressed. But let me see if I can get that cable again. Look at the difference. Hopefully it shows in the quality of the construction here. So this is the new one, the Silkland. And there's a couple of these cables, and they range all about the same price on Amazon. So it's braided. I really wanted a braided cable. There's been more things that I've upgraded, and here's the old one. In the setup, I'm like struggling with the focus. So yeah, I'm gonna throw these away. But other things I've upgraded in the setup have been, I did braided Ethernet cables now. So I got flat Ethernet cables. I got Cat 8 cables there. I only have gigabit speed, but if I do ever upgrade, and the same thing goes with this. This cable is capable of HDMI 2. Not HDMI. I'm retarded. DisplayPort 2.1A. Even though I have a HDMI, a DisplayPort 1.4A monitor, the next monitor I get, I'm going to be looking specifically for something that has that DisplayPort 2.1 so I can take full advantage of the bandwidth. I just want to see if it makes a really, really big difference. I know at the very high refresh rates, that's where you're going to be able to access that. And that's really what it's for. So most of my graphics cards, I have 5070 Ti, 9070 XD, I want to say the 7900 XTX, 5090, and what else? The ones that I know for sure don't have it is going to be the 2080 Ti because that was old. I think it's a DisplayPort 1.4a. So those are what I have right now. So next, I'm going to go ahead and show y'all on the screen. I'm going to get this set up and back to the switch. The way I have the switch set up is obviously one goes to the monitor, one goes to each PC. This thing was like 20 bucks, 20, 30 bucks on Amazon. But the big thing about it is if you do want to go something like this, just make sure it has its own power. That way you don't have to rely on whatever else, like a USB or something like that. The other ones I've tried that didn't have their own power were terrible. So they just weren't good. The first one, I've been using since maybe 2019, ever since I built my second PC. So I've had this for a very long time and it still works. Only reason I'm upgrading is because obviously this is DisplayPort 1.4. So, and this is DisplayPort 2.1. So I'm getting myself ready, man, when these next 4K monitors come out, because now I'm on 4K. I'm going to go ahead and I'll make the jump. I'm going to get something a little bit more. Hopefully we get like 4K 300 hertz or 4K something. Because my 5090 can push it. It's just like my other cards that will struggle. And when I play like the heavy games, then it doesn't really help there. Like it makes no difference almost. But yeah, I'm going to turn this around and show y'all some of the gameplay on the screen. But I am going to set this all up and get this all tightened up real quick. So it's going to take me like 15, 20 minutes. I'll cut from here and get up on the screen and then record the monitor for a little bit. If y'all are interested, I'll make a full review a little sooner. It's not something that's at the top of my list right now of things to do. But if y'all are interested to see what my thoughts are on this monitor, I've said it in the past in other videos, but I can make a dedicated video for that. So just let me know if it's something that will interest y'all. Holiday season's kind of over, so at this point, you just be picking up a deal of something that already ended. So, all right, cut out, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Maybe make some commentaries. I'm going to try to play some Call of Duty with my controller, so that way I can talk and do two things at once. Okay, so before I jump into the gameplay, I just want to touch base. I did buy one of these cables myself. So the way this setup goes is I got 3 cables from them, and I bought one for the learning room, which is where I used to keep the test bench, but I moved my 14900KS in there. So I bought my own back on the 27th. But again, it's 240 hertz with HDR at 4K without DSC. So that's really cool if your monitor has that. There are some, I know the 27-inch Asus has it, HDMI, or I keep saying HDMI, DisplayPort 2.1. But if you go to displayport.org, this is the website, because I did cross-reference it. You know, obviously, I'm sure they're on the up and up, and they're going to do their due diligence and tell me the correct information, but I went and checked myself. So if you go to cables, you can type in anything you find. So if you find something on Amazon, you can see if it's actually certified, right? And you can see which certification they have. And it tells you kind of like the real deal numbers of what it is. You just have to find the cable and then get down to the one that you want. So for here, one of the things I learned when I went down the rabbit hole was that the length of the cable matters. So let's say, for instance, you got a 6-foot cable. That was not going to be DP80 certified before this cable and the recent wave of new cables have been released. It just wasn't something that they could do. So let me see which one I have. That's the 1/2 meter. I think it's the 334. Let me see if it's the same page. This one's the one I have. So UHBR 20, which is the max. So it's a 2-meter cable, and it pretty much says you can go ahead and find this. But this is all the cables that have been actually certified. So it's just a quick way to spot check, because it says it's a certified product. So if you were to go to back in the day, like Monster Cables would be on here, or wherever you were looking for. I don't know why I didn't pull up though. It's weird. But either way, you can click on the company's website. But this is separate from displayport.org. So displayport.org is who you really want to trust, because any company can tell you anything, but they're the ones putting out the certification. So they kind of tell you everything. But I also have their HDMI cable. So I have a couple of Silkland cables that I bought for myself. I have one that I hooked up to the 5 Pro, and then I have the capture card, and that fixed a little bit of the issues I had, and then this one here. So with that, go ahead and show y'all my Rezo. You might not be able to see it, but when you go to the display settings, then advanced, you got 4K, 10-bit, VRR, color format RGB. I don't use HDR, but you could if you wanted to. And then my refresh rate is 240. So same as before. I mean, it wasn't really different there, except now the cable actually supports it. And then my weakest link right now is my monitor's display port. Whereas before, my cable from the actual graphics card to the actual switch that I use was the weakest link. So that's been shifted, which is a good thing. All right, now let's fire up the Call of Duty. And then while I wait for this thing to load, we'll chop it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm not a big display guy. So audio, I never claimed to be, but audio and video, never been my thing. I know how to mess around and tweak with my RAM a little bit, CPUs, every day you learn something. But I honestly never even knew that my cables were that old until they reached out to me. So when I went to my Best Buy purchase history, it was like, first of all, you can't find it because you can click on the item that you have and see if you can get another one. You can't find it anymore. And then second, it was DisplayPort 1.2. So I was like, damn, bro, all these years I didn't have this DisplayPort 1.2. Felt like a piece of shit. Oh man. So love to hear what y'all think about this COD if you've given it a try. I'm not gonna go do like Warzone or anything. I'm just gonna do a TDM. Claim my little free prize. I do need the prestige, and I need to level up my, what's that gun called? The Peacekeeper again. That Peacekeeper is broken if you play Warzone, by the way. What's my free one? There it is. I ain't gonna be buying none of these things. Alright. And since I got this on Game Pass, it's kind of annoying because I'm gonna do regular. It's kind of annoying because I have to switch back and forth whenever it comes to my battle pass. And I want to switch, let's say for instance I got this coin right here. I have to go redeem it on my actual BattleNet account where I got 9,400 COD points. So I don't spend COD points. So I got COD points since BO4. And for those of you that don't know, maybe you play on console and PC. If you redeem the COD points, it's stuck on that platform. So you can't go and, download some, or not download, but is it mouse and keyboard? Damn, I gotta go back. Yeah, we're gonna do mouse and keyboard then. I wasn't trying to be all on mouse and keyboard, but we're gonna have to do what we're gonna have to do. Because backing out ain't an option, folks. Where was I at? Now you gonna see what it's really like. Alright, nothing but he jumped out. The back door is gonna be crazy. That's bitch. Oh, the security hit me. Ooh, got him. We got him. See that? He was on fire right there. Damn. I thought Buddy was behind me, man. Can't trust these cats, bro. Buddy got dunked on. Alright. See, if I was on a controller, I'd be able to multitask. Now I'm pressing all these damn buttons. I can't talk for shit. Garbage. Garbage. Maybe he's downstairs. Could be. That's how I get down here, it'd be too late. Spawn's gonna flip. Yep, killed everybody. I just saw past too. I think try me now. Huh? I lost this guy. I lost him terribly. That's crazy work. We know that's the problem. That's how we play. Oh, called me out. Yo, if I didn't miss a million shots, I get the second guy. Alright, I got my vengeance, okay. He gonna run up the stairs, I'm gonna get him, clip him. Maybe not. Maybe so. Maybe not. Oh, definitely so. He's waiting for his boy, obviously. Also, playing on controller has made me so lazy when it comes to aiming. Aim assist it's been nice to have, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Damn it, that's wrong shit. Now I'm dead. I thought I had the EFP. So real quick, random tip. If you run around with DMP, like a lot of the streaks are mad easy to destroy. Cause you can just, pretty much render it useless for a second, and then use that arc launcher, which is the best thing to come to the game. And then from there, you can go ahead and just knock her out. Oh, shit. That's good there. Did terrible, probably. Yeah, 14 and 7. That's actually nowhere near what I felt like I played. So it's kind of crazy. And I got to play the game. Oh yeah, because I finished all 4. Okay. See? Did something. Alright, gangsters. That's it, man. Caught a quick little L. About to wrap up this past midnight now, so I'll wrap up this video. Y'all be easy, man. If you want these cables, or the actual adapter, or the Ethernet cables I mentioned, I'm gonna put everything in the description. So just click the link. It'll give me a little kickback, or you could go search for it yourself. You can look for DP80 cables, which should be damn it! I swear I'm never gonna finish saying. It should be. Let me see. Get out of here. It's not the time it is. It should be DisplayPort 2.1 cables. So even if you're trying to get some of the future like downline, because right now this is a DisplayPort 1.4 monitor, so it's not gonna make a big difference. But downline it will. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cut out. Put everything in the description, and then y'all let me know if you have any questions or if you want to see something different. I'm gonna catch you on the flip. Be easy.